The highest honor that my friends can do me is to enforce in their own lives the program that I stand for, or to resist me to their utmost if they do not believe it. It would be a waste of good money to spend on erecting a clay or metallic statue of the figure of a man who is himself made of clay and is more fragile than a bangle which can keep by preservation for 1,000 years, whereas the human body disintegrates daily and undergoes final disintegration after the usual span of life. I have learnt from my Muslim friends, among whom I have passed the best part of my life, my dislike of statues and photographs of my figure. Let these lines serve as a warning to those who want to honor me by erecting statues and having portraits of my figure, that I heartily dislike these exhibitions. I shall deem it ample honor if those who believe in me will be good enough to promote the activities I stand for. I hold it to be a blasphemy to represent me as Shri Krishna. I claim to be a humble worker and no more among many in a great cause, which can only be injured rather than advanced by glorification of its leaders. A cause has the best chance of success when it is examined and followed on its own merits. Measures must always, in a progressive society, be held superior to men, who are, after all, imperfect instruments working for their fulfillment. The only virtue I want to claim is truth and nonviolence. I lay no claim to superhuman powers. I want none. I wear the same contemptible flesh that the weakest of my fellow being wears, and am therefore as liable to err as any. My services have many limitations, but God has up to now blessed them in spite of the imperfections. I lay claim to nothing exclusively divine in me. I do not claim prophetship. I am but a humble seeker after truth and bent upon finding it. I count no sacrifice too great for the sake of seeing God face to face. The whole of my activity, whether it may be called social, political, humanitarian, or ethical, is directed to that end. And as I know that God is found more often in the lowliest of his creatures than in the high and mighty, I am struggling to reach the status of these. I cannot do so without their service. Hence, my passion for the service of the suppressed classes. And as I cannot render this service without entering politics, I find myself in them. Thus, I am no master. I am but a struggling, erring, humble servant of India, and there through of humanity. It is curious how we delude ourselves. We fancy that one can make the perishable body impregnable, and we think it impossible to evoke the hidden powers of the soul. Well, I am engaged in trying to show, if I have any of these powers, that I am as frail a mortal as any of us, and that I have never had anything extraordinary about me, nor have any now. I do not consider myself worthy to be mentioned in the same breath with the race of prophets. I am a humble seeker after truth. I am impatient to realize myself, to attain moksha in this very existence. My national service is part of my training for freeing my soul from the bondage of flesh. Thus considered, my service may be regarded as purely selfish. I have no desire for the perishable kingdom of earth. I am striving for the kingdom of heaven, which is moksha. I claim to be no more than an average man with less than average ability, nor can I claim any special merit for such nonviolence or continuance as I have been able to reach with laborious research. I have not the shadow of a doubt that any man or woman can achieve what I have, if he or she would make the same effort and cultivate the same hope and faith. Some of my correspondents seem to think that I can work wonders. Let me say, as a devotee of truth, that I have no such gift. All the power I may have comes from God, but he does not work directly. He works through his numberless agencies. I consider myself to be a sagacious worker, and my sagacity means no more and no less than a fine perception of my limitations. I hope I never travel beyond my limits. Certainly, I have never done so consciously. I am conscious of my own limitations. The consciousness is my only strength. Whatever I might have been able to do in my life has proceeded more than anything else out of the realization of my own limitations. There are certain things which you cannot escape all at once, even whilst you are avoiding them. This earthly case in which I am locked up is the bane of my life, but I am obliged to put up with it and even indulge it. I implicitly believe in the truth of the saying that not a blade of grass moves but by His will. He will save my life if He needs it for further service in this body. None can save it against His will. Do not seek to protect me. The Most High is always there to protect us all. You may be sure that when my time is up, no one, not even the most renowned in the world, can stand between Him and me. I must be true to my Maker, and the moment I feel that life is unsupportable for me, I hope not to be found wanting. What better reparation can I do than willing surrender of the body that has ceased to evoke response and may be a hindrance to the discovery of the true way? I am not aching for martyrdom, but if it comes my way, in the persecution of what I consider to be the supreme duty in defense of the faith I hold, I shall have earned it. Whilst I prize the unbounded affection of the people, let them realize that my life is not worth keeping if anxiety to save it deflects the intention of the nation from the main purpose. Assaults have been made on my life in the past, but God has spared me till now, and the assailants have repented for their action. But if someone were to shoot me in the belief that he was getting rid of a rascal, he would kill not the real Gandhi, but the one that appeared to him a rascal. God alone is my protector. How can puny man, who is not sure even of his own tomorrow, presume to protect another? I am content to be under God's care. He may protect or destroy. I know He sometimes even destroys to protect. I do not want to die of a creeping paralysis of my faculties, a defeated man. An assassin's bullet may put an end to my life. I would welcome it, but I would love, above all, to fade out doing my duty with my last breath. I am not afraid to die in my mission, if that is to be my fate.
We hope you enjoyed this interesting audio title. For more information on all of our titles, please visit us at thoughtaudio.com.